It's March the 6th, 1945, in the German city of Cologne. Operation Lumberjack is underway. It's a big push to put a foothold up and down the west bank of the Rhine. The war is reaching its inevitable conclusion, but many Germans are still fighting on. Rising high over the city that has been devastated by Allied air missions, standing defiantly are the two towers of Cologne Cathedral. Far below, from the lofty heights, sits a menacing beast waiting in the shadows. Hidden in a tunnel near the train station is a Panther tank lying in ambush. The 3rd Armoured Division, Easy Company, have had a tough job to make it this far. The tanks and infantrymen, known as Does, have been going from street to street. The American tanks are mainly Shermans. American armour has been underperforming against the German armour. The German tankers joked, "One German tank is better than 10 American tanks," but the Americans always have 11. While having superior numbers, this mismatch in technology was denting the morale of the Sherman tank crews. The US answer is the T-26E3 Pershing tank. Still very new and somewhat under wraps, very few have been made, but one is operational in the centre of Cologne today. It's a generation leap ahead in technology with a huge 90mm cannon, an automatic transmission, and twice the effective armour of a Sherman. 2 Shermans are tentatively heading down a narrow street called Komödienstraße on their way to Cathedral Square. The street is blocked with fallen rubble from a collapsed building, and the lead Sherman comes to a halt. With the second coming alongside, the 2nd Lieutenant Karl Kellner from Wisconsin is in the turret of the lead tank. He's unable to find a way through the rubble and gets on the radio to call for a dozer tank to clear the path. Back in the shadows, within the Panther, the gunner has a clear shot. Vision is everything. 70% of the time, whoever fired first survived. And today, the lurking Panther has eyes on its prey. There's a green streak of a German tracer, and the shell slams into the gun shield of Kellner's Sherman. A deep clang that reverberates around the streets, but the hull remained intact. But then, a second shot from the Panther hits the Sherman, overlapping with the first hit, and the tank is destroyed. The 2nd Sherman, realizing the danger, slams into reverse, but the Panther has already got its 2nd victim in its sights. Releasing another shell, the Panther hits the tank track, leaving the Sherman veering off to the left and grinding tracks. Desperately trying to avoid a deadly shot, the Sherman manages to limp behind a building and the crew evacuate. Kellner manages to get out of the tank, grabbing his rifle, but he's lost a leg. A medic and the surviving crew carry him to safety, but it's too late, and Kellner becomes another casualty on the closing chapters of the war. The Panther commander, Oberleutnant Wilhelm Bartelboth, is standing tall in the turret. Having dispatched the 2 tanks, it emerges from its ambush position and trundles towards Kellner's smoking Sherman. Taking position in an intersection, the Panther now sits and waits for the next move in this deadly battle on Cologne streets. Approaching in a street parallel to the battle is Eagle 7, a Pershing. There's a shout outside, and the tank commander, Bob Early, opens the hatch. On the street, combat cameraman Jim Bates tells Early that there is a monster of a tank guarding the cathedral, and it can be seen around the corner. Jumping out, Early goes with Bates to have a look. Taking cover in a building, they see the monstrous Panther sitting at the intersection, its gun still facing down Komödienstraße toward the Shermans. With its gun in that direction, Early realizes they can head up the parallel street and attack it from the side. He heads back to Eagle 7 to tell the crew the plan. Key to this is his gunner, Clarence Smoyer. Clarence has proven himself to be an excellent gunner, and in the brand new Pershing, his skill has saved his crew many times in the push across Germany. Bob Early's trust in Clarence's ability meant that he never had to wait for a command, but he was authorized to take a shot whenever he thought he should. Back in the Panther, an uneasy feeling of premonition came over Bartelboth. He guessed the Americans may come from a different direction, and directed his gunner to turn the turret to the right to face the currently empty street. Unaware of this development, Eagle 7 trundled forward to take out the monster tank. Clarence lowered the 15.5-foot-long barrel and turned it to the right, ready to take the shot as soon as they cleared the buildings. "Shoot wherever you want," Early told Clarence. "He's just sitting there like he owns the place." Already loaded was a 24-pound T-33 armor-piercing shell, and the loader, John DeRiggy, had another at the ready for a fast second shot. Would he? McVeigh, the driver, gave Eagle 7 more gas, and it picked up speed. The gun almost scraped the buildings as the crew held their breath. Clarence looked through the scope, waiting for the row of buildings to end. "Don't miss," he thought to himself. As the Pershing emerged from the intersection, right into the path of the Panther's gun, the crew gasped in terror, and McVeigh, in a panic, hit the gas as Eagle 7 came into full view of the Panther. All the crew could see was the black barrel of a German gun, pointing right at them. Back inside the Panther, waiting for a Sherman to emerge, Bartelborth saw a tank dive into the intersection from the shadows. Green and heavily armoured, it wasn't the American tank he was expecting. Realising it wasn't a Sherman in an instant, he screamed to his gunner, "Halt! It's one of ours!" Clarence took aim. He knew he had to land the first shot and fired, and the T-33 shell zipped with an orange tracer towards the Panther. Slamming through the side armour, it took out the engine bay. Clarence's view was obscured by the dust kicked up, and he wasn't sure if he'd even made a hit. Behind the cloud of dust, the hatches on the Panther were thrown open, and the surviving crew, including Bartelborth, escaped. Clarence took his second shot, hitting the turret. "Hit!" cried Early. With the gun still pointing at them, Clarence took a third shot. A fire broke out in the Panther as the ammunition cooked off. Realising their job was done, they sat back, stunned and relieved. The crew of Eagle 7 counted their blessings. "That was close," said Clarence. A few days after the Battle of Cologne, a group of German children approached Clarence Smoyer and asked if he had any candy. Wanting to be kind, he tried to explain that he didn't have any sweets to give them. But military police watching the encounter accused him of fraternising with the local population, something that was prohibited at the time. Ironically, the man who had helped win one of the war's most famous tank battles was written up for showing a small act of compassion. Although Lieutenant Robert Early received the Bronze Star for the battle, Clarence Smoyer was never officially recognised for his extraordinary actions. Many believe the fraternisation report may have contributed to his being overlooked, though the exact reason has never been confirmed. For decades, his remarkable story remained largely unknown. That changed when author Adam Marcos published the acclaimed book Spearhead, which documented Clarence's experiences from training through the fierce tank battles across Europe, including the dramatic fight in Cologne. Thanks in large part to Adam's dedication and years of research, Clarence's heroism was finally brought back into the spotlight. In 2019, more than 74 years after the battle, Clarence Smoyer, at the age of 96, was finally awarded the Bronze Star he had long deserved for his bravery in Cologne. It was a long overdue recognition of a soldier whose courage had helped shape history. Clarence continues to live in Pennsylvania, where his story stands as a reminder that true heroes are sometimes recognised only after many years. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this true story and want to see more forgotten moments from history brought back to life, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing these incredible stories with the respect they deserve.